Hey guys, back here with another video, and today we're gonna take a look at the early 2011 MacBook Pro 13-inch edition and see if it's still worth buying or is it even usable in 2018. We're gonna check it out now. So what we have is a 2011 13-inch, and first thing you have to realize is this is heavy. We're talking about at least 3-4 pounds, and yes, I have this protective case. This is my personal MacBook for a couple years now, and it served me pretty well. But when I first got it, it was used hand and using not the latest. It had only 4 gigs of RAM and 500 gigabyte hard drives. So what I did was upgrade it to 128 gig SSD and also upgrade the RAM to 8 gigs of RAM. So it makes the machine really good, even though it has the better RAM and better SSD for the booting time. It just doesn't run the Mac OS, the latest one. It's well, but sometimes it has each ball spinning thing, and it happens quite often actually. This one also comes with the Intel Graphic 3000, so gaming on this machine, don't really think about it, because maybe a couple years ago it'd be fine, but the latest software, latest game, you wouldn't expect a lot from a 7-year-old machine. So anyways, let me show you around. So this MacBook comes with quite a lot of port actually. Charging, Ethernet. I think this is the camera. For the camera. This is HDMI, the mini HDMI to USB, SD card reader, headphone jack, and this is my favorite feature actually. I think the new MacBook comes with this anymore. So you can see, you click a button here, it lights up to tell you how many battery percentage is left. And I think this genius is built into the MacBook, so I wish they do more of that today, but not anymore. And we have the good old CD player. I'm pretty sure most people don't use CDs anymore because they removed that, I think, in the early 2012 MacBooks. I'm not quite sure, but get that checked. Let me just do some quick app launches for you. So Map, Mail, Safari, not Safari, Chromebook, let's see, go on YouTube, Apple, GG, web flag, sites here, let them open up. iMovie, for example, iTunes already open, VLC player, watch a movie. Setting, as you can tell, it performs really well. See? You can see how smooth it is. Thanks to the 8 gig of RAM installed, because when it has 4 gig, it has stutter in these animations, but now it's super fluid. SSD also helped. But I don't think it get any more updates since, it's getting old. The MacBook's getting old. I struggle. I want to use this for my video editing, but it's a bit slow, so you can see that computer. I use Windows now, and I love iMovie, but that is much faster. The latest i5, with a GTX 1050 Ti, it's great for gaming and it's good for video editing. So I'll review that in the next video. But you can tell, browsing the web, it worked just fine. And also, this is one of the biggest disappointment most people getting an older MacBook is the display. You guys can't see it, but it's pretty low resolution. This is a 1280 by 800. This is low. If you're used to high resolution tablet and the new MacBooks and all these new phones, even the 5S has the Retina since the 4. So we've been used to seeing all these beautiful screens, and you might not get used to it. And also the speaker in this, it's really shitty. Let me give you an example. So listen to this and compare it to my iPhone 5. 7, 8, and X, all of them have stereo speakers. This one just have the bottom firing speaker, so the sound might not be as good. So let's take a look. Okay, so it's not that loud, but let me show you so you can get a comparison. This sounds good. Yeah, put it right here. That's where your speaker is anyways. Let me skip it. YouTube is good sometimes, but I mean, it's good to have this. I wish they kept it, but what can you tell? And if you're gonna upgrade to 7 or 8, let me pause that again. This one doesn't. And you can tell it runs pretty smoothly. And you can hear the 5S has a louder speaker than my MacBook, and that tells you pretty bad. So, well, at least it comes with the headphone jack, so I mean, you could use your headphones. Worry about bass. There's absolutely no bass. And if you're buying a 2011 MacBook right now, I would definitely check 2 things. First, you have to check what kind of upgrade did the person do, because if you bought the 2011 with stock, with the no SSD, no like 4 gigs of the stock, I would not pay over 350 Canadian for it, because I mean, it's not really worth it, because you get an SSD and you get your RAM upgrade, you're looking about $500, and when you're $500, I would rather look for MacBook Air use, a recent one, or like even the early 2012, 13, better quality. I mean, not better quality, but like a faster processor, and it will last you maybe a couple more years. This one is pretty much on the last leg, as in it might last you a year or two. Like, it's almost like a 5S. They're holding on to the latest software, but I mean, how much longer can they hold on to, right? I mean, yes, I would upgrade to SSD. The only thing I can do is probably add a bigger SSD, but SSD is not gonna be that much more better than the one I have. And also RAM, I mean, I don't know how much. I think on paper there is form says this thing does support up to 16 gigs of RAM. Don't quote me on it, but I think you have to modify something, but I think it does support even with 16 gig. It's the CPU that won't hold, because you can't really upgrade your CPU, and if you do a lot of Photoshop, iMovie, and a CPU intensive, you're gonna want a faster processor, or else it struggles. This one doesn't struggle with 1080p, but it does import and export, takes forever. Also, the fan, make sure you clean it, because since this is an old MacBook, you do want to keep it, the fan cooling, clean as possible with no dust, because this thing get hot, really hot. Not even when gaming, like when I'm doing video editing, it gets really hot. So that's one thing. 2 is the battery life. Any MacBook you buy right now, either on the 2nd battery or the 3rd battery. When I got this, it already says condition replace soon. So I mean, you have to open it yourself. I mean, you can still remove it and change it yourself, but I mean, I use this on the table all the time, so I don't really need it. It only lasts 2 hours battery, so these are the 2 things you're probably gonna must look for when I'm buying a used MacBook in this old, because those things pretty much either you have to upgrade or replace, because it's just that old. And also, I have a 2008 version of this that has some display problem. It just turned it flickers with lines and stuff, like white screen of death, I guess people call it. I never had the problem with this for a couple years now, so I'm not sure if that's a common thing or it just my unit is defective, but yeah. And yes, this looked exactly like the 2008 all the way to 2012, I assume. Don't quote me on that, but they look and feel exact same weight, same size, except there's no Pro. I think it just said MacBook back then, the one I got, at least the 1st generation unit body version of it. So it was great. Oh yeah, also the webcam. I mean, even the new webcam, the new MacBook's webcam are pretty trash, so I mean, I don't need to show you. It's terrible in this one as well. So to end this video, I know this is getting a little bit long. I try to keep my video 10 minutes or less. I just want to tell you about my opinion, and is it worth it or not, because I want to just keep it short. So to end this video, I would say it's worth for you if you don't have a lot of money, like most of us, average Joes. You just want a MacBook, but you can't afford some MacBook that's crazy amount. I mean, the minimum starts at $1,000 right now in Canada, $1,199 for the MacBook Air. So for that, that's even a good deal. But if you're really cheap and you're not cheap, but like you're on a position where you can't afford a lot of money, so a lot of people doesn't. So I think this is great if you can get it under 400 with SSD and RAM upgrade. And battery, I mean, not necessary. I mean, battery's pretty cheap. You can get it from eBay for 50 bucks. I mean, so anything 400 is great for this MacBook. And if you're just using basic stuff, nothing tax intensive on the CPU, and don't plan on any gaming, this still got one of the best trackpad on the market. So if you're just using this for basic web browsing for your daughter, for your kids, even for yourself, if you're not carrying this around, because this is heavy, so I would recommend this if you're looking for something basic. But if you're looking for editing a video or any other processor intensive, I would skip this one and get a later version, at least 2014 or higher, because that's already 4 years old, but those could still be relevant and still keep supporting for another 4 years probably, just like this one did. So till next time guys, hope this video helped you decide on the MacBook 2011 MacBook. Peace out.